Yo guys, what's going on? LifeOfRio here, and I'm bringing you guys my top 5 strongest primaries for doing endurance runs. Now these runs are going to be consisting of 2 hours all the way up to 7-hour runs in survival, and then also if you're doing up to wave 100 or more in a defense, these weapons will really excel for you to help bring you to the whatever the threshold is of what you're trying to reach. Now guys, these weapons, you can use them with a riven or without a riven. They still excel because all of these weapons, whenever you're doing endurance runs, you're going to have your synergies with your teammates, and then paired with these synergies, these weapons now become a monster with your Warframe abilities. Now first on our list of what we have is going to be the comb. The comb is an amazing shotgun and is just so powerful. The thing about it is when you have status, damage, and just crit period, every weapon stands out, but the overall damage from the pellets of what the comb can put out is just ridiculous. So my only drawback with the comb is ammo efficiency. So I would definitely say bring carrier prime, bring some ammo plates, and just bring a frame that can buff damage, which obviously if you're going to be doing endurance runs period, you're going to have a frame that can buff damage. So this is going to keep up your KPS and your DPS very efficiently. And guys, when you hear me say KPS and DPS, those are really two different things. Your DPS is just the overall damage that you're putting out, and your KPS is your kills per second, which is the most vital thing for doing long endurance survivals, because you want to kill enemies as fast as possible to keep up your life support, your mini drops on life support with RNG. Now guys, next on our list of what we have is the Vapor Heck. The Vapor Heck is actually a really strong shotgun, and the way the Vapor Heck stands out is that it has an affinity proc, and whenever that proc goes off, it really stuns the enemies, which opens up finishers. And when you open up finishers, depending on the weapons and the synergy that you're using, can really be enormous in endgame content. Now that's not just the thing about it. Now the thing about the Vapor Heck is that it puts out extremely powerful raw damage, and so doing a lot of raw damage and that it can put out, and pairing this weapon up with a frame that can actually boost this damage as well is going to be amazing for you, because the longer you go into high-end survivals when you're doing endurance runs, the thing about it is that your damage fall off is going to be so harsh on every single weapon in the game, and these weapons actually, their damage falls off a lot slower when you're doing those high-end gameplay content, because the enemy scaling on how everything's going to be doing, every weapon will be falling off, but these are the best ones to keep up. They won't keep up fully with the enemy, but they're going to be falling off a lot slower. So you want to keep up the DPS and KPS. The thing is, the KPS on the Heck is going to be a lot slower, but when paired with the correct frame, you can actually boost the KPS on it. Now next on our list of what we have is the Torrid. And guys, I would definitely say everyone should have the Torrid. This is one of the best grenade launchers in the game, and listen, it doesn't kill you. It doesn't have self damage. So the Torrid is amazing, and for every person who has done endurance runs, who knows the team synergies and setups, you definitely know that Torrid will always be on the top picks of weapons to bring into endurance runs. It does not matter if the enemies are level 500 to 5000, the Torrid is going to perform the same exact way. Now if you go with the Torrid and you go with a corrosive blast build on the Torrid, it's definitely going to strip every armor the same way from any enemy, no matter what the level is. So the weapon really strong stands out, and it performs very well, and it holds up really strong CC for you and your team. And with the Torrid being there, you may not get all the kills with it, but you will be getting a lot of kills in high gameplay. But it's going to really help out your synergy for teams from stripping armor and doing everything else that you're doing, period. And when paired with a Riven, this thing becomes a literal monster. And I would say definitely get yourself a Torrid, one of the best grenade launchers in the game. Now guys, it's kind of hard to take the Tigris Prime off of this list, because you guys know how powerful the Tigris Prime is. Even with just 2 in the clip, the weapon is a monster. You can go with the 100% build, which is definitely the strongest build for this if you're doing endurance runs. Now the Tigris Prime, you can go with Corrosive Blast, which is going to strip the armor of the enemies within 4 to 5 shots. But overall, the strongest build for an endurance runs with the Tigris Prime will be a radiation viral setup if you're doing endurance runs. Now here's the thing, the KPS on the Tigris Prime is very low. So how would you fix the KPS on the Tigris Prime? You're going to pair that with a frame, and I'd say personally, from personal testing, the best frame in the game to use with the Tigris Prime will be Nova Prime, because the KPS is extremely slow, but the DPS is extremely high. So when you pair it with Nova, the KPS becomes extremely high, in a very high regard, to where it outperforms a lot of other weapons, because Nova paired with her second ability makes this weapon just an absolute monster for charging it so fast, and it has the punch through after you hit it to really add to that damage as well. So the Tigris Prime is definitely a must-have for me, and these are weapons that I would really suggest that you guys forma and at least spend the time formatting these weapons overall. Now you guys know that this is my baby, had to make the list. I'm gonna go out on the limb and just let you guys know, from all of my videos, most of my recent long and endurance runs and on stream, you guys know I am a huge supporter of the Czar. The Czar is amazing. Even with the self damage, this weapon's a monster with the crit and status that you can have on this weapon, and it excels up into the level 2000s. I'm still doing ridiculous damage with this weapon. The drop off for damage on this is extremely low. It does not drop off in damage that quickly, and you guys know I had to make this list. The Czar is a monster. Listen, if you don't have it, I'm gonna let you guys know this is the best primary in the game for doing endurance runs. Now guys, I just want to let you guys know, hope that you guys enjoy the list of just weapons that I would suggest that you guys spend the time to form if you're doing endurance runs. If you've never done endurance runs, I'm terribly sorry. I'm going to show you guys at least some respected recommendations that didn't fully make the cut, but they're respected in their own regard. Now guys, if you've never done endurance runs and you're one of those that think you have a Soma with a Riven or a Boltor or a Dread, those are not for high-end gameplay endurance runs when you're trying to keep up life support. The Dread is too slow, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, but my Dread does this. And for the people in the comment section that actually does high-end endurance runs, can we please explain to the people who has never done it, who might be confused by the list, and let them know. Now guys, this is the Lanka, super powerful sniper, the strongest sniper in the game. But the reason why I have this here as just a recommendation is because when paired with Mag, you can really do some crazy damage, and the Toncore is here as well. But guys, be sure to follow me on Twitter for glyphs, LifeOfRio, and be sure to follow the Discord as well. And you guys have an amazing day.